That's
Tell everyone what you're painting as a picture first.
Oh, hello, we're live. Yeah. Well, hi everyone. Well, this week has been a crazy week because it's a short week, right? And as we all know, there's crazy things happening out there. There's bloody people on lockdown and pulling their hair out, and I'm actually growing my hair and growing what do you just call it, Lily? What did you just call it?
Quarantine beard. ISO beard.
An ISO beard. I like it. But this week I've been focused on numbers, big boy numbers, and looking at profit and loss sheets, and I just realized how, as a journey, what's happened over the past 3 years with this whole Meet Magic thing. And it's not until you sort of sit back and you go, oh, holy shit, look at those numbers. And it got me thinking about sales in the modern world. It got me thinking about why salespeople really absolutely need to change what they're doing right now. And those systems that they've got in place, I'm not talking about Salesforce or some CRM system. I'm talking about systems that they've got, that they do every day, whether or not they're meditating or whether or not they're looking after their own mind mentally or physically. I'm talking about those systems, because right now, I think from what I'm hearing from people, there's a lot of people struggling out there and worried about the future, worried about the uncertainty that's out there. They've got no way of dealing with that uncertainty because they can't predict the future. So the only way you can tackle that is by keeping a strong mind and everything else. So it's those systems that I wanted to talk about. Hold on, let me just pull up my bloody my what am I call it? I'm live. I'm live and waffling. No, I want to be able to see comments and stuff. You know, when you go live, you see that little thing. So are we actually live? Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just take a stop because it's Poets Day. Poets Day. Now, for those, I'm from Nottingham. Big shout out to all my Nottingham people. I was raised with a Jamaican family, so we can chat all them weird there. So anybody out there, and it was Poets Day that come from Nottingham for me. And Poets stands for piss off early because tomorrow's Saturday. Poets. So today's Poets Day, and I wanted to just
you have told me this.
Take a step back and just end the week on a.
It seems like you're cutting out a bit.
Can you hear me? Is it okay? Is it waffling?
Yeah, a little bit. You keep cutting out.
I wonder if it's my Wi-Fi. Anyway,
it might be better on the live. Who knows? It might be my Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to just talk about.
But
some
yes,
of the stuff
it is indeed Poets Day.
Yeah, it's Poets Day and it's Friday and it's the end of the week, and I still can't find this live button to see comments. Can you see comments on yours, Lily?
Yeah, we've only got 3 viewers and one of them's me, so. So I will let you know if anything comes in, but so far, no.
You only need one, by the way. You only need one viewer to make a difference. So you only need to change one person's life. I remember a couple of years ago, just before we started this Meet Magic thing, we brought 300 disadvantaged kids from Claymore into Bondi for a day of inspiration, and the hope was we could inspire just one of those kids. And that's what we're trying to do here, is just to inspire one person. But I wanted to just talk about this whole sales thing at the moment, because one of the things that Meet Magic's noticing right now is that, and we've booked, by the way, going back to the original start of the call, we've booked 25 meetings this week. So Maddie, I don't know if you're watching, but Maddie's our EA and she's just a beast, and she has booked 25. So that's not meetings that have been scheduled. That's actually meetings locked in the diary. I think we've got about another 100 that are being done, but physically locked in the diary. There's over 25 of them have been scheduled. But there was a couple of times this week where I've had to call the salesperson.
Yeah, just this week.
Yeah, I've had to call the salesperson and just reiterate that things have changed in terms of how you're selling. So this whole selling in the digital age it's very different now to what it used to be. I don't think sales in the 1980s and the 1990s is very different. It was all about turning up and throwing up and selling a product and so on. But one of the things that we say to the salespeople when they go into these meetings, and there was a very, very senior meeting that took place yesterday with one of the big banks. It was a CIO level meeting, and we wanted to make sure that the impression that was left was a really powerful impression, not just a turn up, open up your laptop and pitch and say, here's my product, do you want to buy some? Because that people just do not want to be sold to today. And I think the psychology around that is we're seeing that shifting more and more and more. The psychology of sales has changed just so much over the past sort of couple of years. So what we're saying now is rather than turning up and talking about your product, you're turning up and building a human to human connection or a heart to heart connection. And that is opening up the heart and the prefrontal cortex and making an impact. And I've just noticed that when we survey the salespeople, when they've had these meetings, they're saying that they've done that and they're getting amazing feedback from the execs, which for me says that the market has shifted from selling to a human to human or a heart to heart connection. It's an authentic selling process that you now need to adopt. Well, how do you do that? Does that make sense? You breaking up? Oh my God. I think we've wrecked this live.
Yeah, sorry. It's cutting in and out all the time. I don't know if it's I'm worried it's my side, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. Any comments happening? I don't know. I can't see what's happening on the live, but it's whatever it is.
No.
But does that make sense? I mean, we're seeing that. I mean, that whole heart to heart. So I call these salespeople and I say, listen, don't go in there and sell because people just don't want to hear it. They when you do that, when you walk into that meeting and open up your laptop or try and pitch product, literally the barriers go up. And so I'm seeing now there's a shift, and I think a lot of people need to shift from that old way of selling into selling without actually selling. Does that make sense? Oh, we've got too much lag here. I think there's I don't think this is.
People have commented and said everything appears fine when you're viewing it. So we'll just keep going. Everything will be fine.
Anyway, so I think that whole thing needs to shift. I think when we have these meetings,
yeah, definitely. And I think
oh, that's weird. I've got lag, crazy lag here, Lily.
Hello.
Are
you all right?
This is really not working. It's just not live. It's like I'm talking and then you're frozen, and then you come back after I've already finished speaking, and yeah, I don't know if maybe it's
because it keeps like shall we hop off and then hopefully we'll just hop back on and everything will be okay.
No, keep going. 8 minutes now,
okay.
But anyway, so I wanted to talk about that. So that's that whole selling in the digital age is now important. You need to walk into these meetings with these executives that we set you up with an open heart and not an open laptop, and that's very important. But the other thing I noticed was systems, and for me, when I looked at these numbers, I was talking about these numbers, the profit and loss sheets that I've been looking at this week and working with the accountants on, and going through as a business where we started 3 years ago to last year and this year. And I'm looking at this. It's a really remarkable thing, because when we had an idea back in 2017, and we didn't make much money in that first year. It was just an idea, and it was really hard. And I actually had a job at the time with some cybersecurity company trying to sell their products, and I just wasn't into it. And my startup, Meet Magic, was the whole reason for my living and being, because it was like my purpose and my passion had all come together. And I wanted to make sure that was, so my focus was on that and not on the actual job that I had. So of course the job suffered because my focus is elsewhere. And so when that job came to an end, I was sort of forced into going into Meet Magic full time, and I can't explain how hard it is to actually back yourself when you've got no salary coming in, when you've got no capital. You're bootstrapping your idea to get it off the ground. Well, in that second year that I did that, we grew, I think, 7,000%, which from the first year to the second year to have 7,000% growth was pretty good, but it was still such a low amount of money. It was sort of under the $100,000 mark that it wasn't enough to survive. So even though you've grown so much, your mental state is crazy because you're swimming in treacle. You are not surviving. You can't pay the bills, and you have to come up with other ways to make money because it's just not enough money to cover your costs and cover your outgoings and so on. So that second year of Meet Magic was, even though it was a great number, we had some growth and there's a little bit of traction. It just wasn't enough. And so you have to sort of dig deep. And those systems that I keep talking about that I had to implement in that third year was the only reason why we've now gone from those numbers last year to these current numbers that we've currently got, which are just phenomenal. I got the numbers through this morning, and immediately my brain went to, oh my God, this is all a direct result of the systems that I've implemented. And I'm not talking about Salesforce and bloody anything else on the computer. I'm talking about waking up at 5 o'clock every morning, meditating for 11 minutes and 41 seconds. I'm talking about having a system for my mind. I'm talking about having a system for my body to working out, and just having a simple routine. And it's those things, those systems that I put in that have really allowed. And you know, one of the biggest ones, and this people are probably going to hate this, but the biggest system I adopted last year was no alcohol. And I can't explain, and everyone that knows me knows I like a drink. Christ, I mean, you know, people just know I like a drink. And when I stopped it, I noticed my cognitive function, my powers of recall, everything improved. My relationship with my daughter, my relationship with my son, my relationships with my friends and colleagues and clients and customers, everything improved as a result of that. And that is now reflected in this P&L's numbers. And so when you think about what's happening today and put it all into context with Corona and all this stuff that's happening, if things are not working out for you the way you want them at the moment, you need to change something. And that change, you can't just change your job. You can't just change your hair or your boyfriend or your husband or your wife or your clothes, because that's easy. You need to change what's happening inside and inside here. And when you do that, when those systems change, that for me is what's made such a massive difference in these numbers. I was just flabbergasted when I saw when it came in this morning from the accountants. I'm like, shit, we've been swimming along in the background just doing this stuff. It's really exciting, right?
Yeah, it is, definitely.
It's just been
no, it's cool. It's just seeing those numbers was crazy, because I didn't obviously I've heard what you've told me about everything that you've gone through and all the hustle behind Meet Magic. To kind of see that in numbers was, I don't know, it was really cool. And I also think it justifies everything that you do. It's just kind of there on paper that it's oh, okay, this is actually working. Which is really cool and well done. You've smashed it.
Well, I'm actually just looking right now. If I look a bit distracted, I'm actually just looking for an email that I sent this morning, because it was really those three things. Let me just look for it now. Maybe you can find it, Lily. Can you remember that email that I sent this morning? Just read out the year. Yeah. Just read out the year 1, 2, and the year 3 things, because that for me was the summary of not the numbers. Don't read out the numbers, but just read the idea, and then how it came down to the third year.
Yeah. What this translates to.
Yeah. So in other words,
the what this translates to bit.
Yeah. So in other words, the numbers have gone from here to here to here, and when they were here, this is what it translated to. And then, so year one was what?
Yeah. So it's 2017 to 2018. Came up with the idea, created a side hustle, sold something, decided to carry on, struggled like hell, had a full-time job to help pay bills. 2018 to 2019, lost job because focus was on side hustle, sold some more, struggled to keep my head above water, drowned almost. 2019 to April 16th, 2020. Product to market fit occurring with an opportunity to generate 500K revenue this financial year.
Yeah. Have a look at that.
And then it says, we now stand together as a team growing Lions in the Jungle.
Right. So Lions in the Jungle. Let me just, this is for me where you have to be right now. And I want to have empathy. I want to have empathy for everyone that's going through struggle right now. I really do. And I do. And I have phone calls from people calling me, asking me how you get through tough times, because those 3 years have been such an uphill, downhill battle that the amount of change that went into that, it's real world experience of what's happening right now. So if you're going through some struggle and you want some help with it, I'm more than happy to talk to you, because those past 3 years have really given me a lot of experience in how to deal with the stress, how to deal with the emotion, how to deal with all the pain of the struggle, because the struggle in startup world, it's absolutely real. But the Lion in the Jungle reference for me, and this comes from my coach, there's a guy called Nii Shobo. He's in the US. So if you haven't got a coach, well, you're a fool. Go and get yourself one, because you absolutely need to have a coach if you want to get through all this and want to grow as a business. My coach is a guy called Nii Shobo. Is a former running back in the US, a 49er running back, and he quit his job as a running back, and then he went to become a fireman. Wasn't making enough money. He quit that job and become a coach, and now he's coaching. He coaches everyone from sports stars and athletes and whatever. His big thing is about being a lion in the jungle, because most people are lions in the zoo, and that's not a good thing. Being a lion in the zoo means you get fed. That's probably your salary. Being a lion in the zoo means you get housed, because when it rains, you can go inside and you haven't got to worry. Being a lion in the zoo means you get fed every single day. All of your skills of being a lion in the jungle are taken away. So you become complacent and reliant on that salary and everything else, that you're a lion in the zoo. And then as soon as you get put into the jungle, which is where you probably are now, because COVID-19 has put you right in the jungle, well, now you're struggling because you don't know how to feed yourself. You don't know how to find food or hunt for food, because you've not had to. And so all of a sudden you've got an option. You can either become the food, or you can fight for the food. And being a lion in the jungle, they never sit down. Just imagine this. Imagine a lion. He runs off after the gazelle, and then he goes, "Oh, I didn't catch it. No, I'll just give up. I'll just stop." Could you see a lion doing that? They don't, right?
No.
They're going to keep going until they catch that gazelle, because they know if they don't eat. And if they don't eat, they die, and then they become the food. This is the mindset that you almost have to have right now because of this. So anyway, systems here, change them. You really have to. And if drinking's working for you, great. If it's not, if you're waking up feeling shit, stop it, because it is. For me, it was the thing that was slowing me down, and everything improved when I stopped. But those systems around what you do every day, every single day. I'm talking about when it's raining as well. Is getting up and going outside. I'm talking about meditating, slowing your mind and stopping. It's so important right now. Anyway, that's my waffle. Give us an update on what's happened for the week with numbers.
I liked it. Numbers wise this week. Let me see where we're at.
So exciting.
I believe we're up at least 15.
Wow.
So Yeah, I think it's around 14, 15.
That's insane.
So that's been fabulous.
So it's a short week. Total frozen.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, it froze on me.
I wonder if it's my internet connection, you know, because I actually upgraded from DSL to the NBN, and it's got worse, way worse. You know, literally, ever since I upgraded from
Really,
yeah, I've gone from twisted copper pair to something else, and it is absolute garbage, honestly. And anyway, I'll stop waffling about that. But so the numbers have gone up this week, and we've had a short week. So that's telling you that we've got executives that are out there that are pledging their time and want to make a difference to Starlight, which is brilliant.
yes, it's been really lovely, honestly, to like be in touch with all these people that are going through crazy times as well, and they're still keen to help out, and they're still keen to get Starlight some money and stuff like that. It's been really, really beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, this week I want to for those that don't know what we do, we arrange business meetings, and for each business meeting that we arrange, we donate $700 to Starlight, and that helps 18 seriously ill kids get access to the Starlight Children's Room. And if you want to hear a story about the impact that this can have, there are so many out there, but the one that sticks in my mind is of the little boy that lost his eyesight in one eye. He had a disease, had to lose that eye. The eye came out, and then a few months later, the second eye got the disease, and it was spreading to, I think, to his brain, or it was going to kill him, basically. So the choice was either lose your only other eye, or die. And so of course everybody wanted him to live. Hold on, my phone's ringing. That was Shane Barr calling me. Shane, don't call me when I'm doing a live. So anyway, Shane Barr's a lovely guy. If you haven't seen of a company called Transformed FORMD, go and have a look at them, because they're doing amazing stuff too. So this little boy was basically going to lose his second eye. So everyone was standing around. Just put this picture in your head. Everyone's standing around his bed, and they're discussing what to do about whether or not he should live, or whether or not they should take his second eye out. And then somebody said, "Why are we standing around his bed looking so sad and solemn? Why don't we go into the Starlight Children's Room and let him have his last vision as something really positive and happy?" And that's the impact that it had. So we do that. We arrange business meetings that have a really powerful impact on people's lives. And what I want to do next week is give a free business meeting to one salesperson. So whatever product you've got, whatever business or service you have, if you want to go and meet with a particular company that you'd really love to go and meet with, it might be your perfect target audience. I want to pledge that we'll give you one of those meetings for free, and we'll actually make the donation to Starlight as well on your behalf. So if anyone out there got a great product and you want to take your product and go and sell it to, let's say, I don't know, West Farmers or Westpac or Combank or whoever you want to sell it to, get in touch with us. Log on to this website here, meetmagic.org, register with us, and we will then reach out to you, and we'll pick one of you randomly to win that meeting. And this is a business meeting with a C-suite executive. So you'll be able to go and have a conversation from the heart, not your laptop, remember, and hopefully go and hopefully it'll add some value, and you'll be able to hopefully get a new client. How about that?
Yeah, how great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway, this is a really crap live because I've got jerky.
I'm sorry. I think I don't know whose Wi-Fi it is, but
no, we're blaming the internet. It's NBN. I'm blaming the NBN because right now I'm on the NBN and it's not good. So let's just wrap it up. Is there any comments or anything there? Anyone we should shout out?
all the comments are from when we've been fussing that the Wi-Fi was not very good. So thanks Benjamin Child. I'm gonna absolutely butcher this name, but Elias Papastanis Mattis and Nabi is on as well, and they were all just helping us out with the Wi-Fi. Thanks, guys. And Scott Taylor.
Yeah, and if anyone's not got Nabi's details, Cover Hero. Go and have a look at Cover Hero. If you need some insurance or salary protection, income protection for the digital world, for the new world, you need to go and talk to Nabi at Cover Hero, because she's doing amazing things with insurance and changing that space, which is great. And we've this week we told all of our guys, including you, Lily, to go and cover yourself with Cover Hero. So yeah, everybody should be doing the same.
Yes, very excited for my insurance.
Anyway, waffle over. Have a lovely weekend.
Yes, you as well. We'll chat soon.
Chat when you're older.
See ya.